So I do wonder what people can see just out of frame when we're here and how much it confuses people. Like, I think people get confused like that hook, which is just like we used to have a painting hanging from there, but then we realised it was in frame. And then there's like, you can occasionally see like wires and stuff poking out of me. You can like see the coffee machine in the background sometimes.
This one, there's no hook. You can't see the coffee machine. It's mysterious.
We've done it. Sometimes like, I think the light as well comes into frame.
Sometimes
people notice the light. The film Tom Yum-Goong, alternately known as either The Protector or Warrior King here in the West, is a film in which the guy with the biggest dick in Thailand slap punches the shit out of half of Australia in a quest to return his improbably fuzzy elephant back to its homeland. And have you seen the film, Nisha?
Well, funnily enough, the first ever focus that I edited for this channel was about the Warrior King.
Okay.
So yes, I saw it, how long ago was that? 3 years ago?
And do you remember how fuzzy that baby elephant is?
So fuzzy.
You don't realise like all mammals are furry, but you don't think like elephants as being fuzzy. And you see this elephant and it looks like, this is a deep pull, but have you ever seen that like behind the scenes footage of Shrek 1 where they accidentally set the fur on Donkey to be too long?
Oh.
So he just boom!
Yeah.
Kicking to the curb. Don't mess with me. I'm the stair master. I've mastered the stairs. I wish I had a step right here, and now I'd step all over it.
Yeah. It's like peachy.
Oh no!
No!
I was getting hype. The thing is though, you know what? I've been there, mate. Anyway, the film also contains a fight scene that was so physically taxing, it almost killed a cameraman. And the fight scene, which is incredible, and we will no doubt talk about in great detail in a moment, I believe still has the record for longest one-shot fight scene in a movie. And it clocks in at just over 4 minutes long. That's literally how long the camera could film for. And Nisha, I'm not sure how much of an action aficionado you are, but is there any like one-shot fight scenes that you're a fan of? Because I know the comments will be screaming about the one in Oldboy, which is the hammer hallway fight, which is fucking incredible.
This is not technically a fight scene, it's a car chase.
Okay.
But I think it's so well done. Have you seen the film Extraction?
I have not seen the film Extraction, no. Describe it to me.
Chris Hemsworth's in it and he's trying to rescue
Oh,
a
yeah,
kid.
that film. Yeah, sorry. Yes, I have watched that.
Yeah.
I just forgot that I'd watched it because the name is so generic. It's no Warrior King. Oh, no. You don't forget about a film called Warrior fucking King.
Do you know what I'm referring to when I say the car chase?
It's been a while since I watched it.
It's literally on one continuous shot. Camera goes in and out of the car, in front, behind, in and out, just continuously, and it's like, what the fuck?
You just passed it.
Fuck's sake.
That, I think, was like, it has to be them referencing and trying to top the scene I always reference in The Raid 2, where they had to dress a guy like the seat cushion of a car and they pass a camera into the car and then hand it to a guy who's like strapped to the outside of the car.
So I don't know if I did, oh my god, Bowley, seriously.
He's not having a good day, is it? Go on, what are you telling me?
I feel like I must have watched the behind the scenes of that because I would have wanted to know how they did
How
it.
the fuck they did it, yeah.
I can't remember, but I think it might have been something similar.
So that scene in The Raid 2, which I mentioned, it's known as the impossible shot. Because when that film came out, people who know about filmmaking were like, the fuck? Like, Joe, when they see me just sitting like, wait, what? Yeah. What was that? Because it's a quick camera movement that you've seen. It's like, hang on a second, there was no cut there. Because there's a lot of tricks you can use to hide things like that. One of the most common is wipe cuts. And that's why I don't like the film Hardcore Henry, because they rely on that way too much. People don't know Hardcore Henry is the action film shot entirely in first person, but something they try to make it look like it's one continuous shot. But every time there's an action scene, they'll do like a panning shot across, and during that shot that's where they hide the cuts. Because it's blurred and you can't tell what's going on. So they just do so many wipe cuts. And it's like, I know what you're doing, and because I know that you're doing it, I get pissed off watching the fight scene because they're trying to pretend that it's a one shot.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. It's like if you couldn't, like, oh, for fuck's sake, it's like if you didn't have if you didn't have the technical proficiency to pull it off, you don't have to put it in.
Yeah.
And it's like they're trying to kind of pretend that they did this super impressive thing that they didn't. It's one of those things where there's very often not a reason to put I think the term is wanna, into a film or TV show. It's more often than not done as a flex by a director. And Warrior King was no different, where they wanted to have the longest single shot fight scene ever recorded into one of their films, because the film star, Tony Jaa, was very famous at the time for doing a lot of his own stunts and for doing shit that had literally never been seen before. For example, in the film Ong-Bak, which was sold on the fact that all of the stunts were done for real, includes Tony Jaa doing a triple overhead spin kick while his feet are on fire. And they have a chase scene on foot where Tony Jaa does the kid at a disco double knee slide.
Yes.
And he does it underneath a moving truck that was really moving. And they put that all in for real just to flex on people, to show, yeah, we can pull this off. And we've talked many times on the channel before about Jackie Chan and all the times where he's done stuff that they could have very easily cut around or done creative editing tricks to make it look like he actually did it, but he insisted on doing it for real.
It's a bit like Tom Cruise as well, doing his own stunts, hanging on the side of a plane.
And he similarly doesn't like it when they put in cuts that would make it look like they didn't accomplish it for real in the film.
I like that because they want to make it look as realistic as possible. And I can appreciate that.
And it's that ego thing, isn't it? Look what we did. And it's the similar thing for Warrior King, where they wanted a single, unbroken, 4-minute-long fight scene of the film's star who just wants his fucking elephant back, fighting his way up like this gauntlet of men.
So how long did it actually take to film this scene?
Months, because first they had to choreograph it. Because keep in mind, the scene was only 4 minutes long. So they had to make sure that Tony Jaa got to the 4th floor in 4 minutes. And just think about how long it takes you to walk up 4 flights of stairs. That's probably a minute.
I'm unfit, so.
And now, okay, so you've got that, and now you need to be doing cool fight scenes pretty much the entire time you're doing it. And you're gonna beat up 50 different people, but we now have to figure out a way where all those 50 people are gonna hide and come from. Also, we wanna do a bunch of cool shit during this scene. For example, there's a part in it where he casually just jumps through a little gap in a window above.
Yeah.
And he had to do that seamlessly and flawlessly while the cameraman's moving. And they have a bit where they throw a guy off a balcony. But then the camera looks back down after the fact to see that he's still there. So they had to push out an air mattress for that guy, but then pull it back in. When the cameraman looks over, and that actually resulted in one of the shots getting messed up because Tony Jaa was about to throw that guy off for one take, realised the air mattress hadn't been put there yet because they got the timing messed up and had to grab the guy. Because he nearly threw the guy off a 2-story drop onto concrete. That's how, to the second things had to be. And it got to the point where Tony Jaa and the rest of the stuntmen were able to run through that scene pretty flawlessly. The problem was, the cameraman couldn't.
Was he not fit enough?
Basically, yeah. Think about how heavy a camera is.
Yeah.
And now think about all the stuff going up 4 stories. And now imagine you've got to do that carrying all the camera equipment. And they realised that the cameraman is simply not fit enough to do it. Because he got to the end of the take and he was out of breath. And I should point out that the camera they were using for that scene was so specialised, they had to fly a guy in to use it. So the guy they literally flew in was not fit enough to do this scene. And they almost scrapped it until one of the Thai cameramen said, I will do it, but give me a month to train. So he had to go do his own fucking training montage to get fit enough to follow Tony Jaa.
That should have been part of the film.
No, you talked earlier about the level of effort that goes into filming stuff. That guy had to train for a month just to be able to hold the camera like steady for 4 minutes.
The dedication just always is always so inspiring, I think.
And what they did while that cameraman was off on the mountaintop, like doing press-ups with that camera, was he and Tony Jaa worked out even more choreography for the fight scene to make it even more complicated. So we've got a month, let's just add more shit to it. So they put even more stuff in.
Yeah, I'm just imagining that cameraman now training like Rocky, but just holding a camera as he's running.
He's got it over his shoulder, he's just sprinting. Do you like Forrest Gump? Where he's like sprinting out of Vietnam with like 2 men under his arms, like that, but it's the camera and all the film reels and stuff.
That, you know what, that's what I felt like when I used to hire equipment from uni. I used to hire 2 cameras, 2 tripods, and I'd have a camera tripod over one shoulder and then same on the other, and I'd have to walk home up the steps like Rocky.
Yeah. Do you know like when you're coming home from the airport and you got you got to make it to your gate and you got all your your suitcase on one arm? That's what it's like. I contend it's not even the best fight scene in the film, because that is a film of phenomenal fight scenes. Like, and the one immediately following that 4-minute long one is where he goes into like the restaurant. So I should explain the plot, because we've talked about the film, not the plot. The plot is, guy's in Thailand, his elephant gets kidnapped. That's it. And his character is looking for the elephant, ends up in Australia, and they tell him, oh, it's in this building here. And he fights his way to the top of the building, and he gets in there, and it's a restaurant. But it's not just a restaurant, it's a restaurant where they eat all kinds of animals.
Oh yeah, I remember now, yeah.
And they just have like this like lingering shot of him looking around, and it's just everyone like eating like octopuses and stuff like that. And in that moment, he gets so fucking mad because like while he's like just like what's going on? Did they eat my elephant? A guy kicks the fuck out of him, then he stands up and he just gets like the elephant's like little lead and he wraps it around his fist and he just beats the guy up.
Oh my god, yeah. It's all coming back to me as you're explaining. I'm like, I remember looking at these clips.
I highly recommend going because there are just so many ridiculous fights. Like, it's just fight scene after fight scene after fight scene after fight scene, and they're all incredible. And it ends with what might be one of the most just like brutal beatdowns I've ever seen in a film, and it is the bone break scene, which I have to mention because I have to mention every time this film comes up, and it is where once again Tony Jaa's character is just like crying because he walks into a room. And then his big elephant, not his baby, his big elephant, they just unveil like the skeleton. So they killed his elephant. And he's crying. And while he's crying, like a group of like 50 guys are just kicking him in the head. And then one of them stabs him and they just have this do you know that you done fucked up moment?
Yes.
Where he looks down and he just goes, fuck this. And he just breaks everybody's arms. When I have like those bad movie nights with friends and stuff, I'll put that film on and I make a drinking game of that fight scene of, you have to vote for which guy you think gets it the hardest. And the one for me, and it will stick in my head forever because of just like, I can visualize it happening to me. And it doesn't even look that bad until you think about it. It's a guy goes to throw a kick and Tony Jaa stands on his foot and then he twists his foot around and he pushes him over while he's stood on his foot, but like his ankle, like I'll do it with this skeleton, look. Like the skeleton comes in, it's like he steps down like that, then he pushes him over sideways, and you hear the pop, and it's like that. So he just pushes him over, and it's like you can just imagine that happening. And like it's like for my vote, that guy gets it the hardest.
Just like squeamish over here, just like. Ugh.
Yeah, there's a couple of people in that like fight. They get it super hard, and then you think they killed his elephants to fuck him.
Isn't there also a scene where they suplex the elephant through a window?
They throw the elephant through a window, and they have a very obvious rubber elephant. Like they have the bit like where they throw him into like the elephant skeleton, and he comes out and he's strapped like the elephant bones to his arm, and he looks like a fucking like Monster Hunter character. And he just uses like elephant femur tonfas to beat up like 3 6-foot tall dudes. It's fucking incredible. Like, 'cause they're so like cartoonish, like some of the Flintstones.
Yeah.
And he's just beating people to death with them. It's so fucking funny. Go watch Warrior. Like we did the focus where it's like go watch Warrior King, but like
again, 3 years later, go watch it.
But like go watch it and then think like the cameraman nearly fucking died. Like the cameraman they brought in nearly died of exhaustion filming that scene. And you know what? It's been a while since I watched Warrior King. So what I might do is I might go and record a commentary track for Warrior King. And if you want to find that commentary track when it's finished, you could find it on the Untitled side channel. And if you want to gain early access to it, you can go to the Patreon. So just like, you know what, I might do that now. And I might see if I can get a couple people. I might see if like you or Luke and Brad and stuff want to like go like for a film day in the office, maybe record some commentary tracks for some movies.
Because I wanted to do some commentary stuff for like Disney films.
Yes, I know Lucas wants to do that too as well, yeah.
Because obviously we watched a lot of the like cartoon Disney films when I was younger, and it's like having a grown-up perspective on it now. Because I watch stuff like that now, like Pocahontas, Mulan, Cinderella, and you think, that would never happen. That's way too fast.
So, Nisha, can I get you now to commit tentatively to a movie watching day in the office where we just record ourselves watching our favourite movies?
Yes, I'm just nodding mostly yes.
And we can upload the commentary tracks to the Untitled side channel, which you can find linked below, as well as the Patreon, if you want to gain like early access to them. Or maybe we'll like give people a chance to like vote on some of the films. But I'm definitely going to do Warrior King. Or maybe one of the other many martial arts movies I have, because I feel like everyone's seen Warrior King now, or at least everyone involved with the channel has seen the clips. Maybe I should go into my collection and find like some of those other martial arts films that I've been saving for some bad movie nights.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. So one I mentioned, like just in passing, just this film, which we all know is terrible.
Which is?
Dragonball Evolution.
Oh, God damn.
I just said to Brad, in passing, I wanted to rewatch it just to see how bad it was. And he says, why don't you do commentary on it?
Yeah.
And just scream about how bad it is.
Well, have you ever seen the film Future Cops? It's a shame that I have to describe it. It's one of those things where I was able to go into this blind, and I watched it at a friend's house while we were having a few drinks and doing like bad movie watching. And we had no idea what this film was. And it turns out Future Cops is a knock-off Street Fighter film that was filmed without permission from Capcom.
Oh, okay.
And it is just like it's this weird blend of like weird like high school drama, but also action. And the final fight, I wish we'd recorded ourselves watching this, because the final fight scene, we lost our fucking shit.
Is it like the scene where they're all like flying about and doing helicopter spins? And...
So you got you know.
Yes, I've seen that. The helicopter spin.
It's just a bit. What?
That was amazing.
And it's to the point where they even do Chun-Li's fucking taunt like that.
Okay, so I have definitely seen that scene.
But Nisha, you're not ready. Do you know what's better than like one Chun-Li? How about when like second Chun-Li turns up? You ready?
Oh my god, do you know what they remind me of? You know these fairy toys?
Oh yeah.
String and they just fly.
But it's so on the note. You ready though? It's one of those things where they didn't give a and when someone doesn't give a fuck that hard, magic happens.
Yes.
And Joe's the only way you think, I wish I could have been there for filming, because they are there having so much fun. Throughout watching the film, me and my friends were like, well, what character have they not shown yet? Because they've shown every character from Street Fighter. That was a bit missing. Like, they've got Ryu, they've got Ken, they've got Guile, they've got Vega, they've got M. Bison. They're about, but then... Just they don't give a fuck! The thing is, the action's better than Dragon Ball Evolution.
Yeah, that's it. I was like, so you're supposed to be a Saiyan. Like, oh, Goku.
Like, that's the thing. There's just something magical about the idea of just not giving a fuck that hard. You know what, if you want to see us watch movies that bad, and the commentary tracks for them, Untitled side channel.